What's up guys, today I'm going to be reviewing some of the most popular worlds on the Sims 3 exchange. I tried to include a good mix between smaller and bigger cities with some different themes, so hopefully there should be something here for everyone. And please note that all of these worlds are free to download, but some of them do use expansions or store items for full functionality. First up is Camden Creek. This is a really unique town and I love how everything is compact and so clean looking. Most of these houses can be purchased as soon as you start out, and there's a whole area full of empty lots for you to build. One thing I noticed about this world is that it is missing a lot of staples like a library and a gym. Plus, if you look closely, you'll notice that a lot of the rabbit hole buildings in this world were repeated. So you're gonna have 2 spas, 2 bistros, and 2 laundromats. And for some reason, there are like 20 parks here. I kind of have mixed feelings about this place. For one, the houses are really beautiful, like I said, but on the other hand, some of these lots are super frustrating with the way that they were built. Just look at this apartment, like why do I have to go through 3 rooms to get to the living room, fam? But on the bright side, I really do love how they gave us this huge empty area. It's the perfect place to add in missing lots like the library, or you can even add in lots from other DLCs that you might own. Personally, I don't see myself playing on this world long term, but it definitely has potential if you sit down and add in all the stuff that's missing. Up next is Everything Island. Not only does this town come with a nice downtown area, but there's also a farm area and lots of suburban space for houses. Speaking of the houses, they are beautiful, and these are some of the best houses that I've seen in the game. There aren't that many custom community lots here. The main one that I noticed was the library. For the most part, most of these community lots were borrowed from Late Night or Ambitions, so they're going to be the ones that were made by EA. One thing I do have to say though is that the landscaping for this world is on point. Just look at how this dojo was landscaped. Plus there are lots of hills, trees, and little mountains, which all add to this really beautiful atmosphere. While Everything Island definitely doesn't have everything you need, it's still a beautiful world and I love the attention to detail. There's also a bunch of empty lots around town, so you can add in any lots that might be missing. From what I can tell, this version of Everything Island only uses Late Night and Ambitions, but the creator of this world also released Everything Island 2, which uses all the expansions up to University Life. This adds in lots like Showtime venues and dog parks into the world, but for the most part, everything else is still the same. Overall, this is a beautiful suburban world and I can definitely see myself playing here. Up next, we have Los Aniegos Paradise Edition. I'm gonna tell you guys straight up, this is one of my favorite worlds on this list. Just looking at it, you can tell so much time and effort went into it. The world has everything from nightclubs and resorts to venues and even a nectary. Pretty much everything here is custom made and with a great attention to detail. I can't even imagine how much time they put into making this beautiful world. The festival grounds really caught my eye because it's on a pier and there are so many activities for your Sims to do there. There's a really cool little arcade station that makes it feel like you're playing carnival games, and this whole setup just adds to the vibe that you're actually on a pier. Plus, in addition to a really nice library, there's this huge skyscraper downtown that functions as a library, but it's styled as an office building, which is really cool for roleplay or story purposes. There's a rural area with the nectary that I mentioned earlier. There's also like this super rich area in the hills with a golf course and a resort. They even went so far as to add in the projects and buildings that look like they're straight out of Friday. These are so much fun to play through and they're great for crafting stories in your game. The world also gives off this realistic vibe because there aren't any supernatural lots here except for the Arboretum. Overall, this is a great world and you can definitely tell that some real effort went into it. Unfortunately, since the world is so big, it does lag from time to time. But if you have a good setup that can handle it, I definitely recommend going for it. There are also older versions of this world up on the exchange that don't use all the expansions. Up next is Isla Escudo. This is a beautiful tropical world that's made up of multiple small islands. It reminds me a lot of Isla Paradiso, and it comes with houseboats, 3 resorts, diving spots, and hidden islands. There's also a really cool nectary right in the middle of the city that was just so beautifully designed, and for me, it set the tone for what was going to be an amazing world. This whole little town square area looks great, and I love how they made all the buildings mesh together with the same theme. Also, these may be the best festival grounds that I've ever seen in any Sims 3 world. Not only do you have to travel to a small island to get to it, but the landscaping here is just one of a kind. There's even a base camp in this world. What even is this? But one of the coolest parts about this world, in my opinion, is that there are barely any roads. Besides the main town center, your Sims are pretty much walking or taking boats to get across these islands, which is just awesome to me. It really feels like you're playing on a tropical island, and they did a great job with this world. I definitely recommend this world to anybody looking for an island playthrough. The attention to detail here is insane. And if you like tropical worlds, this is definitely the one for you. Just to give you guys a heads up, this world did crash on me one time, so that's just something to look out for. Up next, we have Via Discovolo. Off the bat, one thing I noticed here is there aren't really any starter homes. One of the starter homes though is really cool. It's like this apocalyptic bunker, and it also comes with the watchtower. This seems like it would be a lot of fun, especially if you do like a zombie apocalypse challenge. This will be the perfect lot for that. And even though there aren't that many starter homes, there are a bunch of empty lots, so at least there's that. In my opinion, the lots here are pretty hit or miss because from what I could tell, this world only uses ambitions. I found the starter homes and the gym to be among the worst lots here, but on the other hand, some of the bigger houses absolutely blew me away. If you're just starting out the game and you don't have that many expansions, this world is perfect for you. It's also a great world if you're worried about performance because it's so lightweight and compact. I really love the houses here, and you can easily update this world if you have any other expansions. Up next, we have Harmony. This is another beautiful world. Everything from the houses to the community lots are quality. There are two main islands here. One of them has a huge mountain with a suburban vibe, and the other island is like this downtown area with a bunch of skyscrapers. The world also includes a subway system for your Sims to get around town if you have late night. Overall, this is a great map, and I love the way that they designed these lots. Some of my favorites here are the Nectary, the Cafe Press, and the Community Library, which have some beautiful landscaping. I also have to give some props for overall performance because my game barely lagged while I was playing this world, and that's surprising considering the large number of buildings and lots here. I also really love how they added in the mountain, and I feel like it gives this world a lot of uniqueness and character. Plus, it also looks good in my screenshots. Harmony, I definitely recommend. Up next is a world that I'm very familiar with, which is Legacy Island 3. I spent countless hours in this world, and it's been one of my favorites for a long time. This is actually the world that I chose for my Legacy challenge, which explains why I've played it for so long. Legacy Island 3 uses every single expansion, making it a complete package for every playthrough. It has a downtown, a cool little rural area, there's a swamp, a beach area, and a really cool supernatural area leading up to like a fairy tale style castle. It has pretty much everything you need. If you like Legacy playthroughs, this world has a few different Legacy lots to try out in different parts of town. I also love the festival grounds here, and I've been here countless times. I used to think very highly of this world, but my thoughts have changed after playing through the game some more. The community lots here can be pretty hit or miss, and for the most part, they're just average. But still, I have to appreciate the fact that most of these were custom built. The architecture isn't really the problem for me, it's usually just the furniture. There are also a couple community lots here that I didn't care for, like they made this gigantic community mall, and most of the time I just end up deleting it. I am a really big fan of the houses here though, and there are tons of options for you to choose from. It can get kind of laggy after a while, especially on longer Legacy saves, so that's something that you should be aware of. While these custom community lots are pretty average, they can easily be spiced up if you take the time to adjust them yourself. I also gotta say, I love the way that this world was landscaped. There are mountains, winding rivers, and waterfalls, which all add to this great landscape. If you don't have all the expansions, you can also check out older versions of this world, being Legacy Island 1 and 2. Up next, we have Crystalline Cove, or is it Crystalline Cove? Okay. This is a spacious town with lots of awesome custom lots. The town is surrounded by hills with the waterfall leading down to the cove. There's also a train crossing the bridge by the waterfall, which makes for some beautiful screenshots. I also really love how they redid the fire station and other ambition lots in this world. You can always tell when a creator went above and beyond when they even took the time to redo the profession lots. One of the standout lots here is this huge plaza area with a bunch of buildings put together. It has an arcade, a couple shops, some bars, and there's even like a bedroom. Overall, this is a really cool lot, and I appreciate the idea, but I feel like this lot is gonna cause a lot of issues in terms of lag. There's also a subway system here that reaches across the whole world, which is very useful. I always hate it when worlds have subways that only reach for a few blocks. Overall, I think this is a really cool world and it really nails that small town suburban vibe. Up next, we have Brooklyn Heights. Just to give you guys a little fun fact, this is actually the first world that I ever downloaded off the Sims 3 exchange, and it still has a very special place in my heart. One of my biggest problems with Bridgeport from late night is just how small the world felt and how it was lacking a decent amount of suburban houses. Brooklyn Heights solves that issue with a bunch of really nice houses. From what I can tell, it seems like all the community lots here are custom, except for the ambitions lots like the salon and the fire station. I really like most of these lots, but every once in a while you'll see some really weird design choices, like the library having a kitchen. And from what I can tell, this world only uses late night and ambitions, so it's not like you have to sell your soul to play this world. Overall, while I wouldn't consider Brooklyn Heights to be anything groundbreaking, it's definitely a step up from Bridgeport, which is exactly what I was looking for when I downloaded it. Up next, we have Fantaville, Fanta. The description for this world says that it uses every expansion, but it came out in 2012, so it's missing everything after Supernatural. The creator also states that you need Riverview and Barnacle Bay for this to work, so make sure you're aware of that. Fantaville is a huge city with a wide variety of community lots and houses to choose from. There are 143 residential lots and 224 resident Sims ready to go. One thing that makes this world stand out is it has all the occults living in town. Not even just witches and werewolves, but you'll also see mummies and ghost babies here as well. I also really love how they theme these different neighborhoods. There's an Egyptian area, there's also a little French area close by the Nectary, and for the most part these houses look pretty good. There's also tons of space here to add in missing lots like the resorts and festival grounds that came out after this world was published. Fantaville uses mostly pre-made lots, so if you're not a fan of the EA lots, you probably won't enjoy this world. Even in the case where they do have custom community lots, they look eerily similar to the ones that EA made. Overall though, I still think that this is a great world, simply thanks to the huge variety of residents and occults in town. According to the exchange, Fantaville has a total of 236 lots, making it one of the biggest worlds on this list. If you're thinking about playing this on your Chromebook, just go ahead and sign out. These were 10 of the most downloaded custom worlds on the Sims 3 exchange. Let me know what you guys think if you tried any of these out, and let me know if you guys want to see more of these custom worlds in another video. I've also been working on a video ranking every single EA world in Sims 3, so subscribe if that's something that you'd want to see in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.